What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Trevor Burger Knives LEXK. This was the second knife that Corey over at Stafford's EDC decided to send my way to check out, in addition to the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt. And honestly, like, the Roosevelt was like what got the conversation started. Like, the Roosevelt was the first knife that Corey was going to send me, and then he was just randomly was like, hey, have you checked out the LEXK yet? And I was like, that's a burger, right? And he said, yep, it's a little bit bigger than the Urban, because he had sent me the Urban before and I loved it. So I was like, yeah, toss it in, I would love to check it out. And this thing is a fantastic knife, guys. Like, for it being the second knife that I decided to check out for Corey, it wasn't like a throne or anything like that. This thing is a beast. It's really, really cool. And I have really, now that this is the second burger that I've checked out, I've really developed a strong love for his work. And I really want to get one of his pieces in the collection in the future, if I can sometime. But this is, like I said, the LEXK. Jumping right into materials. This is rocking, as you guys can see, a Damascus steel bolster, which is really, really cool. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but this is done really, really well, so I definitely can appreciate the art, the craftsmanship, and the artwork behind it. You guys can see it has blue pivot collars, and it is rocking a classic micarta. I don't know the exact colorway, but it's like a classic micarta. Has some hardware there. The milled titanium clip right here is not deep carry, but it is pretty, pretty deep. It goes about right there in your pocket. It is anodized to be paired with the pivot collars and the liners, which is really cool. Has a backspacer that runs the whole way here that I don't know what the material is. I believe it's carbon fiber, because you can kind of see the end cut right in there. The light shines correctly. And then it is, of course, a liner lock, which is really cool. Again, with those blue anodized liners. There are bearings in here that I think Trevor Burger makes himself. I think Corey told me that when he sent me the Urban. And I believe, so this is a fully handmade custom. Trevor makes everything by hand for this knife. And I think except for the hardware, I think the hardware he buys and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure he makes the ball bearings himself. You have a hand-rubbed M390 satin blade that looks gorgeous. Very, very similar to the Urban. Blade shape is very similar as well, kind of a drop point, kind of a spear point style blade. Looks very clean, very sexy. And Trevor is known for his hollow grinds. And this thing comes down to a stupidly thin edge. I don't know if you guys are able to see that or not, but you guys can see kind of how it curves in there a little bit. But that allows to middle finger flake this knife. And I know I'm jumping the gun with the action there, but for materials, I don't think that there's any really any internal milling. But this is not a very heavy knife anyway. The micarta definitely lightens it up a little bit, and then I think Damascus steel is kind of a lighter material as well. It is dead centered, and it is of course, as I get another fly off me, a front flipper. You guys already knew that without me saying it, because that's what Trevor Burger does, is front flippers. But yeah, I think that's all for material, so we're going to jump right into action. And the action on this is insanely good. It is so smooth, so glassy, and just so fun to fidget with. Flies haven't been bothering me too much yet, but starting to come after me. And even though I put I can't even think of the brand, but I put bug spray on. I'll just leave it at that. But yes, the action is, so fun to fidget with. Corey asked me, after I've had this for about a week or so, he said, do you like the LEXK more, or do you like the Urban more? And I love the Urban, guys. If you guys saw my review of that knife, you would have seen how positive it was, and how, with me, that being my first fully hand custom knife, I was really blown away by it. And I love everything about the Urban, the design and the Ergos and everything. It looks sexy, it functions sexily. Sexily? I don't know if that's a word, but cuts well, everything about it. I really, really, really loved it. But I must say, the action on this is better, because the Urban it dropped to your nail and then it stayed there. Then you had to shake it closed. Where this, you can just basically, it's more of a guillotine. As you guys can see right there, if I can get my thumb out of the way, it'll basically, I messed up there. It'll basically almost drop closed. So it's definitely a little bit more fun in the fidget realm. You can top flip it a little bit easier. The detent's not as stiff. And of course, with that beautiful hollow grind, you can middle finger flick, which is just how the Urban works as well. This is very similar to the Urban. It's bigger, and the handle shape is a little bit different. But the blade shape is very similar. But you have, the same hollow grind blade and 390 hand rub satin. In the Urban was a frame lock, where this is a liner lock. And I think Corey told me that's why you can get the action a little bit better, because liner locks are a little bit easier to tune and a little bit easier to have drop shutty. But listen to that snap. So good, guys. Acoustics are awesome on this knife, especially for being micarta. So this thing is, if I can get it to drop, really a fidgeter's dream. You can do it lefty. Middle finger flick lefty. So it's all around, the action is great. And it's just, there's literally like very, very little resistance or friction, whatever you want to call it. It's very, very smooth. And that's another thing that Trevor's known for, is just his glassy actions. And this is just a lot of fun to, fidget with. But at the same time, it's a very good cutter with that blade. Really slices through things very well. And it's just, so action is great. You can top flip, or you can, traditionally front flip it like this. You can kind of go over the top. You can probably do like the roll thing. I'm not very good at this, but yep, just like that. I'll try it again. Okay, I guess third time's a charm. Yep, so you can do that pretty easily, because I typically struggle with stuff like that. And then you can middle finger flick it. So all around, just really fun. I don't know if you can, you can even index finger flick it. So action is awesome. Next up is Ergos. Ergos are also awesome. You guys can see it's a very overall neutral handle shape. You do have it tapering off back here to kind of a point. You have a little bit of a ridge right there. The back, is very straight until it drops off. And it doesn't have a choil, but it's not necessarily in need of a choil, in my opinion. Sorry, a bug bit me again. It's very comfortable. Some jimping up top here. It's very fine. I get a very good grip on here. I can get all 4 fingers on here very easily with still a lot of the knife sticking out. And it's a little, not chunky, but it definitely has a little bit of girth to it. And it feels great in the hand. It kind of just fills your hand up very well. Kind of melts into your hand. You can do some pinch grips with it. You can do some reverse cuts. I think this is reverse draw cut, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what grips are, really. See, it's just so fun. I just get distracted. Ergos are great. The Dana steel adds a little bit of texturing there, but not a ton. It's not like super deep engraved or anything like that. The micarta is nicely done. You can tell it's very high quality micarta. I wouldn't expect Trevor to use anything other than high quality materials. So really, I could see people maybe modifying this to have a choil so you can get choked up really, nice and close there to the blade if you're doing some precise cuts. But I think this grip right here is pretty close enough if you're going to be doing, cutting something that you need to be kind of slow with. But it's a very utilitarian, very easy handle to grip on. So a lot of different hand shapes, a lot of different hand sizes are going to be comfortable on this handle. I really just can't knock it, at all. It's very comfortable, nice materials, nice grip. Next up is Carry. And Carry is good. It is good. It's I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more internal milling to make this a little bit lighter. Not that it's heavy by any means. And in the mill titanium clip, I think from an aesthetic standpoint, looks really good. And it works very well too. You have a little bit of a pop there, slides it in your pocket, and this is all contoured and rounded off very nicely. You don't have any issues because you have the front flipper over here on this side, which will be tucked into your the wall of your pocket. So if you're going to be down here grabbing anything, you're not going to be getting caught up in anything on the knife. You're just going to come right up by it. It's going to cause no issues at all. You're going to go back to your day doing whatever you're doing. So I carried this, I think, front right pocket in my shorts and back right pocket in my shorts. So I carried it same way I've carried the Roosevelt, excuse me. Except I didn't carry this in gym shorts at all. I just didn't necessarily, I guess, decide to that day. But I'm sure you could. It's not that heavy to where your pants are going to be falling down. But yeah, carry is good. And I'm looking at the time. This is like an 11-minute video so far. I'm blowing through this review very, very quickly. I think the Roosevelt was like 23 minutes. But yeah, final category of price point and would I recommend this knife. This knife is awesome, guys. It really is. If you are looking to get into a Trevor Burger custom, I don't know all of the models. The only two that I really know of are the Urban and the LEXK. I think there are some bigger models. But in my opinion, I think the LEXK is a nice medium-sized knife. The Urban is a little bit smaller. So if you're looking to get into one of his models, I can absolutely recommend this to you. The fit and finish is insane. Action is just butter. It's so smooth. So fun to fidget with. Now, if I were to get one, I don't think I would get the Damasteel bolsters. Again, that's just not my speed. But I did appreciate and I did enjoy having them on here, so I can just experience them. But I really like the pop of blue on the pivot collars, on the scales and liners. Sorry, not scales. The scales are obviously micarta. You do have that blue anodizing on the pot clip. All around, just really good materials, and you're going to be paying for it, of course. You know, I don't know an exact price tag on this, but if I had to guess, it'd be probably between $700 and $800. I think Corey got this from Urban EDC Supply. I don't think they are for sale anymore. A lot of times Trevor does drops with his knives. Like I know the Urban, I think I talked about this, in my Urban review or whatever. But he was supposed to do a Urban EDC Supply run with them, but then something didn't work out, so he did a run of 50 custom ones that he has sold and are out in the world. So those are pretty hard to come by. I don't know. I don't think this is as exclusive as those. But now you have the Urban LC or whatever, the Riot made production run of the Urban that Urban EDC Supply is doing. I think the pre-order is still open. I was gonna pre-order that, but I didn't want to put $300 into a pre-order right now. So I'll probably try to snag one of those whenever they come out. I think they're not gonna be here until January, February of 2023. So I didn't want to wait that long with dumping that much money into it. But yeah, we're talking about the LEXK here. So I would recommend this knife, through and through. It's phenomenal. I think I still prefer the Urban over it a little bit, just because the Urban really spoke to me from an aesthetic standpoint and from a design standpoint. Again, this does have a little bit better of a fidget factor, just because it's a little bit bigger of a knife. And that liner lock definitely allows it to be a little bit more free droppy and drop shutty, and have a little bit maybe better of an action. And the Urban has a great action as it is, but I think this one takes the cake a little bit from that. And it's not like I'm knocking this on aesthetic standpoint either, because this knife is beautiful. The materials that he decided to go with are great. They look phenomenal. You have the Damasteel, the micarta, the titanium pot clip that is anode, the pivot collar. It's just all around a fantastic knife. So, and again, you have to remember, this is a fully built custom by Trevor. So yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's $700 to $800 if I had to guess, of course. But you're paying for that custom touch. You're paying for that, craftsmanship. And from what I've heard, Trevor just kills it. And I've experienced 2 of his customs now, and I can absolutely recommend them. And I can absolutely attest to his, ability to fine-tune knives, fine-tune detents, fine-tune actions, and just make a hell of a knife. So the LEXK is just another fine knife in his lineup, and I can recommend it to anybody that asks me about it. And I would definitely be I want to get a fully custom burger in the collection, Maybe if I can get one of the Urban LECs, I can't talk, Urban LCs from Urban EDC Supply for like $300, I think they're going for. Then maybe I could try to get one of these for the custom price. Or maybe I could try to snag an Urban, the fully custom Urban on the secondary if I can find one for a decent price there as well. There was one guy selling it on Instagram that Corey sent me back probably a couple weeks ago by now. And he was asking $500 for it. And I was really close to sending an offer in, but I guess I waited too long because when I got on to see if it was still live, because I think I was going to send the offer in whenever I got on to check, it was already gone. So I missed that. But you can find them for decent prices because I think the Urban went for like $750 as well. But you know, that's just the price on his customs. He does great work and I can absolutely recommend it. So I'm going to quit rambling, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. I know, yeah, this was my full review on the Trevor Burger Knives LEXK. Shout out to Corey over at Stafford's EDC for sending me this, as well as the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt in. I will leave Stafford's EDC Instagram and his YouTube down below. Please go check him out. Please go tell him I sent you. I really want to see his subs get up there as well. We're pretty similar in subs. I think he's somewhere in the, you know, I think like 730, 740, 750, somewhere in there. But Corey's a great dude. He's a fantastic friend. And he, you know, has a really cool knife collection as well. So please go check him out. But I'm going to quit rambling now. I already said that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.